this video, we have a very special guest, Isaac Odegard with No Earth Creations. Hi, Isaac. And he's actually going to talk to us about what digital marketing has done for his business. So in the meantime, let me introduce myself. I'm Jeannie Scott with the Science of Social Media. And I help, who do I help? I help entrepreneurs transition over from traditional marketing to modern marketing as painless as possible. So without further ado, we're going to get right into our content. And I'm going to let Isaac talk and tell us exactly what it is that he does. Go ahead, Isaac. What do you do?
I am a leathersmith, and I've been a leathersmith almost my entire life. I just turned 26, so I was lucky enough to be born into the leathersmithing business. My father was a very talented leathersmith. We had a shop in the city that we lived in, out of the basement of our house. And I was born in that house. So some could say that I was born in the leather shop. So from a very young age, I was in the shop watching my dad. I grew up homeschooled. So I spent a lot of time with our family, learning things, learning how to do things for ourselves with our hands, relying on ourselves. So through this, I learned a lot, and I gained a passion for leather products, leather goods, making things with leather, making things with my hands, and doing a good job and putting my heart and soul into it. So now that I've grown up and matured a little bit and lived on the ways of life, so here I am. I've come across some new business tactics, like Jeannie said, with online marketing. And I'm now out putting myself out into the online space with my products and my talents and sharing what I know with all the awesome people on the internet. So
all the awesome people on the internet. So how did you actually get into the industry? It was family owned. Is that right?
It was family owned. Yeah. I was born under my dad, who's a leathersmith, and I was in the leather shop forever, all the way growing up. In high school, I worked for my dad building saddles for Welsh's Saddlery in Edmonton, Alberta.
That's so cool. Saddles for horses. That's what you're talking about, right?
Saddles, yeah. High quality Western saddles. And we also did custom orders for backpacks, luggage, belts, wallets, all kinds of different custom orders, which I really like doing custom projects. So,
I seen the wallet, the little, what is that, a wallet, or was it a credit card?
Like card slot wallet with a
card slot wallet. I love that. As you know, I won a couple of those. I just have to make payments on them, but I won a couple of those. Those are high quality, I can tell, and made by your own hands. How cool is that? I love that. So I'm trying to pull up the video over here so that I can see if we have anybody on with us, but for some reason I'm not finding it. So, so tell me more about, are we on? We are on. I can see that we're on. Okay. So tell me more. So your father started it with saddles, and then how did you would go into the shop and spend time with your father?
Well, yeah, originally my dad did, we had a booth at the farmer's market in the city. So he did bags, belts, backpacks, purses, custom briefcases.
That's cool.
Different things like that. He did that for a while, and then as I was growing up, once I got about 10 years old, and we got a contract with Welsh's Saddlery in Edmonton, and they were the well-known supplier of Western goods, saddles, chaps, all the cowboy gear, right?
Yeah, so you guys do what every man's dream is, probably, maybe some women too at this point. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
a lot of work that goes into these leather products and a lot of thought. So
yeah, I bet
it's a bit of a dream, but it's hard work. So
yeah.
So I spent a lot of my time growing up working on specifically saddles with my dad, one-on-one kind of deal, basically. My brothers were in and out of it. They helped, but I was the youngest of 4 boys, and I was the one out of all of them that really caught on to leather, and not just did it because Dad said to, but did it because I wanted to.
Right.
And now here I am, and I'm making my own business from that. And my family's helping me out by letting me use their shop.
Yeah.
I buy materials and different things like that. So it's good. We're building up a new empire in the name of Odegard with no art.
With No Art. And so No Art, is that your the name of your company, No Art Creations?
That's my company, yeah. My dad's leather brand is Odegard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Odegard. Okay. So so we know how you got started in your industry. So what made you, because you have transitioned in the last year over to YouTube and you're doing your marketing on YouTube now, or at least you're creating some pretty dynamic videos. I've watched them, and I've spent some time there because I try, I'm like, look at this, honey. I'm showing my husband, like, check this out. Look at this. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. So what made you decide that you were going to get on YouTube and start doing videos?
Well, part of it goes way back to forever ago, right from when my desire to want to create things with my hands. When I was younger, like I said, I was homeschooled. So I spent a lot of time out on the farm with tools, saws, wood, all that stuff. I would make catapults. I would make crossbows. There's different little projects while I was growing up. So I loved to create things and, take raw materials and turn them into something useful.
Right.
So now that I've gotten better at leatherworking, and I can actually take some raw materials and turn it into something beautiful, and now that we have the power of the internet and all of this amazing shareability, and then I see other people, this is what happened once, probably 5 years ago, I started watching Alex Steele on YouTube, and he's a young blacksmith from the UK, and he does blacksmithing videos, making knives, making hammers, showing different techniques, and he did a lot of teaching, as well as a lot of just him making stuff in the shop, which I could relate to that very wholeheartedly because I like to make stuff too. And I like to take that stuff and show it to other people and then get feedback and all the, it's cool. It's sharing it with other people and vice versa, right?
Right.
I see that there's people that are younger than me on YouTube, like going crazy,
rocking it, right?
Of views and getting well known and building up their legacy and prospering and building up their business and living life in an awesome way. And I see that and I think, hey, I can do that too. So just last year, it's been just under a year, my YouTube channel, that I released my first video.
Yeah. And
what really pushed me to do that was one of two things. One of them was Alex Steele with showing that, hey, and that there's people out there wanting to watch this kind of content of people making stuff with their hands and having a good time in the shop doing stuff, right?
Right.
That's great. And then the other part of it that made me want to do it was coming across Sean Cannell from Think Media.
Yep.
And him.
That's how you and I met, actually.
Exactly. How we met in Vegas.
Grow with Live Video. Yeah. Convention.
Grow with Video Live.
Grow with Video Live. Yep.
So from that, like, I started watching Sean right before, about a year and a half ago from now, back in September of last year. And I watched a couple videos and he was saying, like his whole tried and tell tale of take fear and perfectionism and punch it in the face.
That's
forward, right?
Yeah.
And between his teachings and seeing the inspiration coming from Alec and then the inspiration coming from Sean, it was just, and then the skills that I've built up in this industry, and I know that people like it when I do this stuff already, my peers, then I think that it's, it's proof of concept already. And then now going on to your next question, which was, how has it been working for me? And I think it's been pretty awesome in this last year of YouTube, I put about 10 videos on my YouTube channel, 150 subscribers, is pretty good. I think it's pretty good considering how much time I've put into it. You know, I could put out more videos if I put more time into it, but
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot of effort and a lot of planning. Right now I have a full-time job as a baker, so
Mm-hmm.
juggle my time and energy with the two things. But I'm working towards, you know, more consistent, more uploads and all that, and it's coming through. I'm working on different campaigns and different things with under, you know, behind the scenes kind of deals. So there's lots going on, and it's hard to manage all of that. And I'm new to this, so it's very interesting.
I get it. I just hired my team. I have a team of 3 now, not including me, team of 4 now. And there's a ton to do. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm supposed to give them to do, what I should be doing. I'm still working after we went to that conference. And I think that was my question. Like I'm not sure what to give, and I still don't. And I have the team now, and I'm not sure exactly what, you know, I mean, I'm like, okay, so maybe I know I don't like scheduling, so I need them to schedule my videos out for me or my posts out for me on all my social media. And so just all the things, you know, I have an editor because I absolutely hate editing. And I like it. I get antsy because it takes so much time to do the editing. So I'm thinking, okay, so I have an editor now. So now I'm just like, okay, so do they do the videos too with me, or do I need them to do that? So yeah, I get it. It's a lot. There's so many pieces, so many components that go along with this type of thing. But yet we want to be the faces of our companies, right?
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing that I've been learning the last year is all of these different pieces that have to fall into place in order to get a good video up or a semi-good video up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like your thumbnails, your graphics, all of it. Right.
Titles, research. Research. So big media has been a huge, huge resource for me learning how to YouTube.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been big for me too, as well.
I think that if I didn't come across, if I was just doing it blind, uploading videos blindly, I would probably have less than half of the subscribers that I have. And the thing that's interesting is that I've learned how to rank videos that now get consistent views daily, and drive other traffic to my other videos. And I learned all these different little tactics have come from Sean Cannell and Heather Torres from Think Media.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
It's been a whole game changer. I know. I've had so many different influencers, Sean, of course, and Heather, and then I buy just about every course that there is. I think that shiny object syndrome thing that I don't think I have it. I know I have it. I want all the tools, the bells, the whistles, every training. Even if I already have a YouTube training, I want another YouTube training because it's fun to see everybody's perspectives too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I like about it.
That's the cool thing about like watching Blake Anderson or Brian G. Johnson.
Yeah.
They all are teaching similar things, but just in a slightly different.
Yeah, and they have different tools that they use, and they have different, like I recently bought How to Grow a Facebook Group because Facebook is actually their algorithms now are going to favor Facebook groups rather than pages. So your page is just more like a marketing. It's a place for just to market. So promotion, not that you want to be promotional, but you want to promote. That's why you're doing it, to get eyeballs on your stuff. Well, that's what the page is for. But you want to funnel them into your group because Facebook wants you to build community. That's their main thing, social media.
Yeah.
So I just bought this course on how to grow groups, and now there's this other girl, Rachel, that was Christina Gendelli. And then, if I'm saying her name right, and then there's another girl, Rachel Miller, that she is quirky and fun. So she's got a whole different perspective on how she does it. And both their channels are huge, or their groups are huge. So I'm like, okay, I want to learn from both of them. So I just bought 2 courses. So anyway, so what's your biggest struggle?
There's so much to
there is so much to learn. And not only that, everybody has their specialty and what they're good at. And so that's the other reason I like to buy different courses, so that I can learn different aspects of the business itself too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So what is your biggest struggle or fear when it comes to digital marketing?
Procrastination.
That's a tough one. Yeah. Does it keep you from being consistent?
Yeah, well, like I said about, working the full-time job and then having to juggle the time, you get that. For me is the hardest thing to overcome is the I can show up for work on time, but then showing up for me on time is
a whole different ballgame when you don't have to, right? When you can do it when you want to, that's a little bit different. It's almost harder. I know that everybody has this dream to be an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, so I'm not knocking it at all. I love it. I love the fact that I work on my terms. I love that, and I always have. But the thing is that's different. You almost work more as an entrepreneur than you do if you have a job and you go punch the clock and you leave and you walk home. So you're either going to trade dollars for hours, or you're going to put a lot of time in the first few years to build this thing up until it gets to the point where you can call it residual income, right? So it can be residual income, but you have to put in the work first, and that takes about 3 to 5 years to do to really get that solid foundation before it's going to bring in that consistent income.
So that's what I'm working on right now is discipline.
Discipline. Well, that's a hard one. So you have to do a lot of time blocking when you go.
That's another great resource, again, from Think Media. Heather Torres goes over big time on how to schedule and time block to be more productive so that you show up to your own job on time. That's something that I've been implementing and getting a lot better over this year so it's really good.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I train with my clients as well, is that, that's time blocking is huge. This whole marketing thing, we get on here and we see all the fun and we're getting on here and we're doing the videos and it looks fun, but people don't see the work that goes into it behind the scenes, and the fact that you have to have that discipline and you have to be able to block out that time every day to do 2 or 3 things. You don't have to do, you can do it within a couple hours, maybe 3-4 hours. You can have a 4-hour work day, but you have to be on it. You have to do it. You have to block out that time for that to happen. And then you can't the thing is I think for me, this is what happens, is that because I blocked it out for me, when somebody else needs something, I'm like, okay, well, I can move that around because I know I can adjust my time. But the thing is if you do that enough times, then you don't get your thing done. And so you have to look at your time that you have blocked out as if you're punching a clock for someone else. That is your time that you're getting your thing done. And just like you wouldn't call your boss and say, hey, I can't come in because my brother needs help fixing his car right now, or you know what I mean? You would say, I got to go to work, dude. Sorry. And that's what you have to do with the time that you've blocked out to do your thing, is you have to say, I'm sorry, I have to work. And because you do.
That's the thing that I've been doing a lot more throughout the year is showing up more for me, right? So
showing up for North. North. Right. You work for North. I work for Science to Social. So we have somebody we do work for, even though we call the shots. We do work for it. So
it's your legal entity.
Yes, it is. Right. So, all right. Well, that's a good one. So the biggest struggle is the procrastination. Yep. Time blocking. That just boils down to time blocking. All right. So what is the biggest recommendation that you would give to our viewers today about when it comes to digital marketing and where maybe to start if they haven't started yet?
Number 1 is a quote that comes from Sean Cannell. And that is, take fear and perfectionism, punch it in the face, and press record. Because there's no reason, like if you have a good idea and you have figured out what your niche is, that's okay. So then this goes into the second part of the question, which would be to do that, to if you want to press record and you want to punch that fear and perfectionism in the face, then you have to have you have to have clarity. You have to be clear on what your message is, what it is that you're trying to sell, or what you're trying to convey, or what you're trying to entertain, or who you're trying to entertain. Know your audience, know your niche.
Know your niche.
That's big.
I have to agree with that.
Then for a resource where you can learn more about these things, about clarity, about how to punch fear and perfectionism in the face, and how to not worry about that you don't have the proper equipment or the proper know-how on how to edit or anything like that, then the number one resource that I've come across so far is Think Media. Shout out to Sean Cannell and Heather Torres. They have put out a program through Inner Circle and Video Ranking Academy to really take you step by step and help you unlock your true potential and live your passion.
Yeah. Yep. They're good. They're good to work with. I know I've been working with them and I love it. I love it. Good company. Good team. Good couple of people to learn from. So, okay. So you ready for the rapid fire round?
Yeah, let's give her.
Okay. Ready? Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Cat or dog?
Cat.
Really? Okay. What's your favorite book?
That's a tough one. Aragon.
What's that? Okay, hold on. I want to come back to that. Married or single?
Single.
Single, really, ladies. Do you hear that? Okay. All right. And okay, mother of all questions. What's your favorite athlete? Who's your favorite athlete, I should say? Favorite sport?
Favorite sport?
Yeah.
Rugby.
Rugby. Is that big in Canada?
No.
No. Who's your favorite athlete?
Oh man, I don't follow sports much, so it's hard for me to like just know it. But I would have to say Fabrizio Mioni. He was a motocross driver from Spain. He died in a motocross accident.
Oh wow, cool. All right. Okay, good job. I love it. Now tell me about that book. I want to know what book that is.
Aragon is a book about, I forget who the author is. I don't have it in front of me. It's on the shelf. But
it's called Aragon?
It's about dragons. Yeah.
Okay.
In like a old timey, like kind of like Lord of the Rings style.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But totally different story and setting.
It's fiction.
Totally fiction, yeah.
I guess so if it's dragons, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
The cat one though, that was the toughest one because I love both a lot.
What was the other one? Oh.
The cat or dog question.
Cat or dog? I'm totally a dog person.
Oh man, I love both, so like it's hard to say to pick one. Right now I have a cat, so I said cat.
Okay. Yeah, I guess she or he. She probably appreciates that you said cat.
Yeah, she loves it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so where can people find you?
I have 3 main ways you can find me. I am on YouTube. You can search Noarth Creations, Noarth Creations. Same at Facebook, Noarth Creations, and Instagram, Noarth_Creations. You can find me there. I've got contact information, email, different things. I'm just right on the cusp of getting my website public, which will have order forms, gallery, history about us, my story, contact information, everything on there, products for sale. So that's coming soon. Stay tuned.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Why don't you link your stuff in the comment section? That way people can click on it and find you. And thanks for being on with this. This was fun. We appreciate you joining us on the Science to Social.
Yes, Jeannie. Thank you for the invite. It's been a wonderful time.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap this up. I don't see any questions. As a matter of fact, I can't even find the video. So I know it's on there because it says it's live. So not even positive what's going on, why I can't find it on Facebook, but you will definitely get to see it as soon as I find you and I figure out where it's at. So thanks for being on with me. And as always, thanks for being on with us, I should say. And as always, we'll see you in next week's video. Bye now.
Bye-bye.